No! God damn it.
Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Galu here with my second ever chaotic online deck. Now this deck, I think it's pretty good. I've defeated a few guys on apprentice level with it. This is more of an apprentice 6-on-6 deck. Without further ado, here we go. I called it Firestorm, and I'm thinking of renaming it InfernoStorm. I'm just going to call it that when I turn this into a video. And I'm making this at 7:30, so hopefully it won't come out in the middle of the night. So let's go. And sorry for the mix-up at the beginning with the intro. It's just that my recording was saying 000, so I wasn't sure if it started yet. So, first off, on the top row, as our main attackers, we have Rothar, Forceful Negotiator. Ability, Rothar must move into adjacent occupied space if able. Blah, 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 all that nice stuff. He has 70 energy, or at least mine does, 3 element types, and 105 power. This makes him essential for this deck. This deck, I haven't explained this yet, is based on the Marillion Invasion Underworld starter deck, except it's an improved version, without Marillions, obviously. So you'll notice that these 3 creatures are exactly the same as the ones from the original deck, and the deck strategy is the same. It's based on air, fire, and power. So the battle gear that I've equipped to Rothar is the Aspect Amplifier of Might to give him Outperform Power 5, which means power attacks deal an additional 5 damage. Or at least stat check stat fails in challenges with power. Now for Kirill, his ability is Underworld creatures you control gain Intimidate Power 20 and Exhaust All Disciplines 5. I put him in the front line for one reason. Not for one reason, but first off, he has a lot of energy, and second, even though his ability can be useful, just like Magmons, it can also prove some major drawbacks. And also, he has decent power. I switched off between having him at the front line and Brimflame in the front line. I'll get back to him. And I equipped him with a Phobia Mask to give him Intimidate, Courage, and Power 10. Now, both these battle gear you can find in the Underworld Marillion Invasion starter deck, as well as not the Berinthian Axe, but most of the attack cards. Now, next up we have Blades. Blades is in this because he has decent energy, and most of all, he has really high power and courage, and he has fire and air. And his ability, if an attack card played by Blades would deal 0 damage, it deals 15 damage instead, is really good because there are 2 Psycho Drains in this deck, and his battle gear is the Corral Husk Armor, which gives him 50 energy, and if you're dealt 15 or more damage, your next attack deals 0. So his ability counteracts that. I'm trying to say this all with very limited breath. Please excuse me. Next off is Brimflame, who is common. He does not come with the original starter deck, but if you just get like a booster box of the Beyond the Gates, or whatever it's called, Beyond the Doors, then you're bound to like get 2 or 3 of him. I did. And his ability is, if Brimflame is equipped with a battle gear, it gains Fire 5. So I gave him a Vile Driver, so now he has Fire 10. He also has 65 energy, which is pretty good, and 85 power. Next up is Ulu, who's from the original deck. He has Air 5 and Recklessness 5, which makes me kind of concerned. But with the Barinthian Axe, he'll be able to knock off 10 energy right from the start at his opponents, and he'll have an additional 5 energy. So that's all good. Next up and last is Rage Trod, who is basically kind of like the Muge of this team. He has 2 Mugicians. There are only a total of 4 Muge counters in this whole setup from those 3 guys: Ulu, Kareel, and Rage Trod. Rage Trod has Outperform Power 5 and Recklessness 5. And I gave him a Sandstorm Shroud. That way, he can also use air attacks, since this deck is based on fire and air and power. He has 65 power. Whew. And 60 energy. So, now that I've showed you the battle gear and creatures... Oh, wait, let me explain first. So, basically, you can get all the cards here in the deck from getting the Underworld Marillion starter deck, and from just picking Underworld as your starter deck when you create a Chaotic Online account. Otherwise, you can just get all the cards the same way from just getting Beyond the Doors or Secrets of the Lost City. That's how I got Rothar and the Sandstorm Shroud. The Corral Husk Armor I traded with a friend. Vile Driver, I think this comes with the starter deck that you get when the Underworld Chaotic Online starter deck. And this, it's a pretty, it also came with it, though I have one too. I hope I'm not rambling. What? Okay. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Is this thing still set on here? I hope so. So now we're on attacks. My thing logged itself out for some reason. First off, we have 2 Consuming Flames from Secrets of the Lost City. We have 2 Force Strikes. Most of the cards here are common, so they're pretty easy to find. Some are uncommon. I don't think any of them are rare. No, I don't think so. We have 2 Inferno Gusts. I think I might have to reduce it to 1, but for now. We have 1 Gravity Slam, 2 Hammer Dashes, 2 Lightning Bursts, 2 Psycho Drains, 1 Ash Torrent, since there's 2 guys who can use Fire and Earth. And overall, it will usually do 15 damage anyway. We have 1 Dry Liquid, no, 2 Dry Liquids, an Electro Web, because it can do a maximum of 25 damage, but most of all, if it fails, it can also reduce your opponent's power and speed. We have 2 Flash Warps and a Confusion. Now on to Mugic. This is why it is an apprentice deck, because we're a mainly apprentice-based deck, because there are more Mugics than there are available Mugicians. For one thing, the only card that can be reduced to 0 Mugic counters is Improvisational Melody, which still leaves 1 Mugic that you will not be able to use during the entire battle, so you need to think carefully. I have an Ember Flourish to heal 15 energy, an Etude of Exhaustion. Again, you can find this in the starter deck. Prelude of Dawn. All these cards except for Ember Flourish you can find in the starter deck. Locations. 2 Pits, 2 Brawler's Burrow. Those 4 you can get in the starter deck. Marillion Invasion starter deck. That's what I meant for that and the Mugic. 2 Underworld Cities, 2 Underworld Coliseums, and 2 Magma Dams. Those you can find in the Underworld Chaotic Online starter deck. Because I actually don't have any of those cards, which is pretty sad on my part. So yeah, that is my review on my InfernoStorm chaotic deck. Underworld chaotic deck. I'm pretty sure some people will be able to make some other versions for other tribes, and I would really like it if I could have some recommendations, maybe for maybe a creature that I can replace with Ulu or Kareel, because both of them have major drawbacks. Or maybe a battle gear that I can replace that would be better than the Phobia Mask. Also, as for the Sandstorm Shroud, I could also replace it with a Destructozuka. I have one. I just haven't uploaded it yet. So, yeah. So, once again, if anybody has some better suggestions for these decks, I'd be happy to hear them. I could always do with some better advice. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And my videos might become a bit rare, which you will find out if you watched my episode from earlier today. So again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.